Yo, so in the future, you know what I mean? I could be sitting down at a chair, at a desk with my fancy camera and make it all. But right now we just doing this shit from the muscle. I said 30 uploads in 30 days. This what we doing. So welcome to the first episode of G Holy presents gholy.com. You had to be there. Now niggas be doing reaction videos and shit like that. And I just be like, I be wondering like, this should look better like this or like, it probably look better like this. I be wondering like, why do y'all be watching that shit? Like, these niggas get up here, tell you they don't have no knowledge of nothing they talking about, and then they react to some shit, and then y'all just watch them like this as they reacting to the shit, or they say it's corny, and then y'all go watch the next motherfucker react to some shit they never seen. Like, you had to be there, bro. Like a lot of this shit be having content but no context to go with it. Like, these niggas don't understand the context within what they reacting to set in when it originally dropped. So it's like they watching the Matrix 3 just off the rip, just watching the Matrix 3. Like, how the fuck can you watch the Matrix 3 without knowing about the Matrix in general, the real Matrix, and then watching 1 and 2? Like, it's just it don't make sense to me. So there you have it. We shutting all that shit down. You had to be there. You had to be there. You know what I'm saying? I was gonna do you wasn't there, but Cam was gonna sue me, so I did. This is you had to be there. Nas Ether, right? Nas Ether. Let me tell you, when niggas react to Nas Ether, it's like some type of triumphant like moment for Nas, where like, the king of hip hop, which is like, just staying on his throne and things of that nature. It wasn't like that at all. Like, it wasn't like that, bro. Like, Ether came out of nowhere. This is evidenced by lines like, y'all pissed on me, shit on me, or whatever he said about his grave. Like, he know he was dead. And then Jay on the Blueprint 2 said, I gave you light when niggas was forgetting you MC. This is a real fact. Nas was dead in the water. You gotta understand. Nas dropped 94. Took over the world. You know what I mean? Not the world on some, cause hip hop was like going commercial then. So like maybe he wasn't the biggest artist, but like Nas had the streets. You know what I mean? The streets was fucking with him. You know what I mean? The little hip hop crowd, they was fucking with him. But mostly, man, that storytelling got him in the streets. So 94, all right, then Jay is dropping shit like, I can't get with that in 94. Some, you know what I'm saying? Local shit. Nigga had a bald head. Nobody seen that shit. You know what I mean? They ain't had no label or nothing behind them. Like, shit was just what it was. 95 come 96. Jay dropped Reasonable Doubt. Now, I was personally about to buy Reasonable Doubt. Like, Reasonable Doubt was about to be, like, I had cassettes and shit before, but Reasonable Doubt was going to be like my first CD. But I was told I could only get one CD, you know what I mean? And cuz I wasn't 20. I wasn't fucking 20 in 96. So my stepfather was like, "Yo, you can get one CD." I'm like, "Damn, I want the Tupac CD, all Me Against the World, but I want the Jay-Z CD too, cuz I fuck with Dead Presidents and Ain't No Nigga. Ain't No Nigga was big in North Philly. Like, I don't know how it was anywhere else, but Ain't No Nigga was that shit. You hear me? Like, Foxy was coming off of Who Shot You, I believe, and that verse on that shit was like a 50 bar verse on a single. That shit was hot. And then Jay, like I said, I fuck with everything off of the tape already, so I wanted the tape. You know what I mean? Or yeah, they both dropped because Dead Presidents was first, and then Ain't No Nigga, I believe. You could fact check me, but yeah, and then Nas dropped. It Was Written the same year. I don't know if It Was Written must have came out later, cause either I had it already or that shit just wasn't on my mind. It was only between Pop and Jay, like for what I was gonna get, and I went with Pac, man. Like I had to get the Pac shit. Like Pac was, you know, this is Pac coming into being Pac. This is, you know, yeah, I had to get it. You know what I mean? But let me think about that though, cause now it's getting weird. Cause hold on, both of Pop, nah, it wasn't. Was it All Eyes on Me? No, it was Me Against the World. But I think Me Against the World came out in '95. Me Against the World must have came out late '95, and Reasonable Doubt must have came out cause it was between them two. But anyway, I'm not getting stuck on this. But I bought Me Against the World over the J shit over Reasonable Doubt. Nas dropped It Was Written same year. I believe you can fact check me. 97 come. Streets Is Watching. Jay-Z went from, yo, I know who this nigga is. Like I don't like him, but I know who this nigga is. Streets Is Watching drop. That shit was, and I think that was around the time I believe Master P might have did one of them joints first in '97, or some shits came out around the time. But them fucking baller blocking and all that shit where niggas is just making hood movies and shit like that. That shit was anyway. Streets Is Watching was the shit, and then Volume 1, and then Jay dropped Volume 2. Now around Volume 2, all right, so this the thing with Nas. He took 2 years in between Illmatic, 2 or 3 years in between Illmatic and It Was Written, his second album. And then Jay in between his second and third album, because it was 96 to 99 when Nas ain't dropped his third album till 99. In 1998, Jay-Z officially became that nigga. Like that nigga. Like Drake. Shit like that. Like 98, he was that nigga. And even niggas started going back, the Volume 1 and Reasonable Doubt. Like, damn, we missed out. You know what I mean? Shout out to my man House, because he always was fucking with Jay. Like, he always was saying, but that nigga was from Brooklyn. You gotta understand, the whole East Coast ain't the same. So this nigga coming from Brooklyn to Philly, you know what I mean? He telling us Jay-Z is the shit. And I mean, I'm talking about, he was saying, this nigga said Jay-Z was the best rapper in 1996 when he dropped Reasonable Doubt. That nigga saw the vision. That nigga was like Dame Dash or something. So shout out to him. And he always used to try to put me on like Reasonable Doubt and shit like that. But I was one of them niggas that had to come back. I started fucking with Jay on Streets Is Watching. So, I told y'all in the beginning, if I didn't say it, gather around kids, it's story time. This gonna be a second. You know what I'm saying? So, all right, so 98, Jay-Z is now the biggest rapper in the world. Jay-Z is throwing shots at Nas on his 5 times platinum selling LP, Hard Knock Life, Volume 2. The Life and Times of Jay-Z, or whatever the fuck he be calling them shits, Volume 2. Hard Knock Life. When he say, I think on Ride or Die. No, the shit with Kid Capri. Yeah, that's how many y'all. So the nigga said, especially those that get fucked for their publisher. You know what I'm saying? That was about Nas. And then, but Nas had, they had little sparring matches before. We knew Jay and Nas had beef. Like, we knew that. Because Nas say, Lex with TV sets the minimum. And it was just back and forth trading bars, but like you could tell, like, all right, I already heard the rumors about the Jay-Z had his first single. He had Biggie, he had AZ, he had a few other dudes. They was playing Monopoly at the table with the real money. They was playing Monopoly with real money. And Nas was supposed to be in that shot with him for the Dead Presidents video, Dead Presidents 2 to be exact. And so like Nas didn't show up, and we heard about that. Like, we heard that they had tension, and we knew about the lines between them that was back and forth to each other. You know what I'm saying? So in 97, they was trading lines. Jay had the Biggie Jay-Z Nas line or whatever, but they wasn't cool. You know what I mean? Like I said, the Lex with TV sets the minimum, and then Jay come back with in 98 with the, especially those that get fucked for their publishing. He talking about when he used Nas. Well, you heard it on Takeover. He said it again on Takeover when he said, "I know who I paid, God, Searchlight Publishing." That's MC Search Publishing Company. And he was saying Nas was getting fucked, you know what I'm saying? Because he didn't even have to come to Nas to deal with business. He just took Nas' voice for one of them shits off Reasonable Doubt or whatever. And he sampled Nas' voice, but he didn't even have to go to Nas. So, shit was already heating up. But you gotta understand who Jay was in 99 and who Nas was in 99 when he dropped I Am. When Nas dropped I Am, dog, he kind of lost the streets. And he kind of lost his hip-hop fans, too. Because he was doing that fucking... And Beyonce was in the video, too, which is funny. But he was doing that fucking You Owe Me shit. Yo, come to find out, the nigga did You Owe Me because... Which was like some super poppy single. Because of Big Daddy Kane. I just watched an interview recently with Big Daddy Kane. Said if he could add one thing to Nas Illmatic, he would have put a track for the ladies on there. I fuck with Kane, but he wildin'. And, Nas, according to Kane, Nas came to him later on and said, yo, I made You Owe Me because of you. I had to do a joint for the ladies. And it's like, that's what I gotta cut this shit. I gotta figure out how to cut the time down. But I want to be accurate as possible when I'm doing these shit. So, yeah, so he was doing that bullshit. We wasn't fucking with that. You know what I'm saying? And then he turned around and do Uchi Wally. Like, you gotta understand, niggas was fucking with Nas for a different reason, but Nas was trying to be somebody else. Nas basically seen what Jay did in 98, and Jay had shit like, Can I Get a What? And he had shit like, I probably put links to this shit in the description below so y'all can get the full picture, but he was doing shit like Hard Knock Life with the Annie sample. It was like pop-ish, but it was still real shit. And that's what Nas wasn't getting. Nas just went flat out, I don't know, man. We wasn't feeling that shit, you know what I'm saying? So he dropped the Braveheart shit like 99, 2000. He dropped I Am. He dropped Nostradamus, which niggas hated. Niggas hated Nostradamus. His fourth, niggas hated Nostradamus. Bad. You know what I'm saying? So basically, Jay on top of the world in 2001. Nas is in the fucking dirt in 2001. I'm talking about in the dirt. For real. Like, niggas is not fucking with Nas. You gotta understand. Niggas who thought he was like real hip hop, they stopped fucking with him when he started doing the You Owe Me shit. And then niggas who was like, yo, this nigga, for the street shit, he ain't really give him no, super street shit. You gotta understand, Nas was the first rapper to like, name a couple street dudes in his rhymes and paint that super picture, and he wasn't doing that no more. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's like, imagine 50 came out and then the next year, matter of fact, that shit did happen. The same shit that happened to 50. The same shit that happened to 50, man, happened to Nas. Like, niggas wasn't fucking with him like that. So I just said that to say you got to understand when you listening to Ether, the context. Nas was kind of known to be trash around this time. So Ether came out of nowhere. Like, I don't even think Jay could have predicted Ether, because it just seemed like Nas ain't even have it in him no more. It seemed like he ain't even want to, you know what I'm saying? Like he was going a different direction. So that's why you get lines like on Takeover when Jay say whatever he said about trying to kick knowledge, and then Nas came back on Ethan and was like, you asked me if I'm trying to kick knowledge. Like, he became known as the that dude, you know what I mean? Especially reinforcing it with shit like One Mic off the Illmatic album. Now let's go. This is where we're gonna get into the shit. I promise you this shit not gonna be over 20 minutes. It's 16 minutes right now. So like, but gather around, kids, it's story time. So all right, so this will really happen, because niggas forget about the other records, right? Jay dropped a piece of Takeover at a concert or some shit. I heard it on mixtapes. We all heard it on mixtapes, you know what I mean? He wasn't at the fucking concert, but he said, ask Nas, he don't want it with Hove. No, he didn't spit the second verse to Takeover. He just ended it right there. Ask Nas, that was debate. So Nas come with this corny ass song on mixtapes that niggas never want to talk about. They just want to erase this song from history. He come with this corny ass song that was like, yo, I eat beans on the freeway. Some stupid shit. That shit was whack. That shit was completely whack. You know what I'm saying? And then so Jay dropped the full Takeover. Boom. Hit him. Then Nas came with Ether. So imagine, that's what I'm saying. So a nigga is in the dirt, and one nigga's in the dirt, one nigga's on top of the world. This nigga, Jay, you gotta understand, Nas is still somebody to Jay. You get what I'm saying? Jay is the only nigga in the world who is even thinking about this nigga. So he dropped the diss track just on some, I'm guessing, I'm the king of hip hop. I'm the king of New York, because at that time, the king of New York was the king of hip hop. Let's be clear. It wasn't this shit right now. It wasn't no Atlanta, wasn't no Houston, it was New York City and Los Angeles. That was it. So like I said, imagine how a bomb coming from this, like you run down on a nigga. Excuse my analogy, but like, you run down on a nigga, you shoot this nigga 8 times. You think this nigga done, but you like, man, yo, something telling me, man, I'm about to go finish this nigga off. You know what I'm saying? I shot him. You know what I'm saying? That, nah, I gotta go finish the job. And then you fucking turn the nigga over to give him a headshot, and he give you a headshot. You feel what I'm saying? Like, that's what it was. Jay turned the body over, was about to do him menace the motherfucking, not menace society. What was the shit? When they said, you need help, nigga? He did that shit. Yo, you need help, nigga? And was about Boys in the Hood. Some shit. Some West Coast shit. There was 100 of them shits. But stand over the body, you about to hit this nigga, and he hit you in your fucking head. That's how Ether came. Ether was like, hold on. Nas still do this? Like Nas still get busy? Like, hold the fuck up. Ether was the only hot record we heard from Nas in like the last 4 or 5 years or some shit like that. Like, damn, all right, Nas, where you been? So part of the reaction was, yo, Nas is still alive. Like, part of the reaction of, it's like, dog, this like if AI, when he went to the motherfucking, I'm using all these references that's old as shit, but fuck y'all. Gather around, kids, it's story time. This like AI going to the Nuggets, right? He went to the Nuggets after he was averaging like 30 a game in Philly. He was averaging like 23 and like 24, 22 or some shit. The 2 years he was with Melo. Then he went to Detroit. or some shit like that. This like if AI would have went to Detroit and just started averaging 40 out of nowhere at fucking 38. Like, niggas would have been like, damn. It would have been more. This is what I'm saying. You got to understand the shit was more impressive because niggas thought this nigga died. So if you see a dead man walk, it's like, you know what I'm saying? Like, not Nas was on some Thriller shit, bro. He's a dead man walking. So, like I said, the shit was hard. But at the same time, everybody wasn't feeling that shit. Y'all niggas be trying to rewrite history, bro. Everybody wasn't feeling Ether. Everybody was not feeling Ether. And Jay already, you got, like I said, this like when Pusha T dissed Drake. It's like kind of like the same thing because like everybody wasn't feeling the you know, the Pusha shit. Like, might be a bad example because it's reversed in that sense. But I'm saying Jay was so powerful. Like, it's people who listen to Drake who never heard the Pusha T diss. They just, he got fans from all, like, he got fans that not only don't give a fuck about shit like that, but like really just never even hear shit like diss tracks. You know what I'm saying? So, that's how it was with Jay. Like, niggas heard it and was like, man, Jay is that nigga. Where the fuck Nas come from? You know what I'm saying? Like a nigga just, nigga get out of jail and just trying to reclaim his spot. Nigga been going for 5 years. Yo, what's up? You know what it is. I run the block. You gonna get his fucking head shot off. You know what I'm saying? So that was the appeal of Ether, but everybody wasn't feeling that shit. For the record, there's a lot of people who thought a lot of shit he was saying was gay. I'm just keeping it real. Niggas like, yo, dick sucking lips and shit like that. And there's a lot of people who was like, yo, this whole battle with Ether versus Takeover is real shit versus fantasy shit. It was a lot of that going on. Like, it was a lot of fucking, you know, damn, Jay said all real shit about Nas. Like, yeah, damn, he did drop only 2 albums that we thought was hot. Like, Jay was breaking down this whole shit. And, you know, damn, we never really did think Nas was, like, real like that. Like, niggas was saying that. Niggas was like, yeah, man, Nas is like, yeah, he's rapping about what he saw in his window, and Jay really lit this shit. And you gotta understand, the streets was fucking with Jay. It was them hip-hop ass niggas that was saying Ether was the best shit ever. Real niggas in the street was saying, yo, this nigga on some kindergarten shit. Like, this nigga, what is he talking about? It's like, he just fucking busting or or jonesing on somebody. Like, that shit is not it. Niggas was saying that. And you gotta understand too, at the time, Jay dropped a classic album with Blueprint. So niggas really wasn't trying to hear that shit. Nigga, the first time niggas heard Blueprint, with all them different style beats on there, like that production and Jay going in and it's introspective and it's personal and he got hits like H to the Izzo and shit like that. I ain't gonna lie, niggas didn't like that fucking, whatchamacallit though. Come on the track like that, they used to clown that shit. But, other than that, niggas thought Blueprint was classic. So, you gotta understand. Gather around, kids, it's story time. Stillmatic, which came out the same year as fucking Blueprint. Both of them shits I think both of them shits got a double XL. I think both of them shits got like 5 mics or some crazy shit like that. So like, both of them niggas dropped classics in 01. But it was split though. Depending on if you was a Nas nigga who just reappeared out of nowhere, or if you was a Jay nigga who been dominating the last 3 or 4 years. Like, niggas who said Blueprint was classic said Stillmatic was trash. And niggas who said Stillmatic was classic said Blueprint was trash. This shit really divided hip-hop. Like, Nas got his little fans back and shit. Not little, but I'm saying Nas got his shit back. He got his mojo back. And then niggas was saying, man, you know, it was super divided. So that's why when you see them later, that shit is really so big because it's niggas who probably did like Jay a little bit that couldn't fuck with him because Nas wasn't fucking with him. And the same thing with Nas, like, it's probably niggas who did like listen to Jay that still fuck with Nas a little bit, but it's like, that nigga dropped Ether. I'm not fucking with him. You know what I'm saying? Like, so niggas had their fan bases and that shit was strong. But that's the real story. The real story is, in a nutshell, Nas died in the late 90s and Jay resurrected this nigga. Yo, it would be, for the record, gather around because it's story time. Quote me on this. There would be no Nas, the legendary Nas as we know him today. He still would have had Illmatic. He still would have had It Was Written. Can't take it from me. But we don't get, what's the shit that had Daughters on there? We don't get the shit where Khalees left them and shit and he fucking had the wedding dress. We don't get that album. We don't get this new album. We don't get no Nas career. Nas would have never been able to drop another album on a major if Jay-Z didn't diss this nigga on Takeover. He literally just revived his whole shit. And, you know, they was cool at one time. You know what I'm saying? They talked about how they was cool. They was friends. Not even friends, maybe. I don't know. But they was at least cordial. And, what's his name? Akinelli, Put It In Your Mouth, No Homo. Akinelli was on Drink Champs and he was saying, yeah, them niggas was tight. Akinelli, who was better than... Akinelli was better than niggas knew, but niggas kind of only knew Put It In Your Mouth, you know what I'm saying? So, that's neither here nor there. Akinelli was dope. But Jay, and Nas was all on tour together, and them niggas was basically on some, yo, making a pact shit. You know how it is when niggas is all just trying to make it. Yo, if you make it, I'ma bring you in. If you make it, I'ma bring you in. So it was like, Ak was like, Jay felt like, yo, Nas made it, and he ain't never come back for us. So it was tension from there. And then it seemed like Nas was hating a little bit because, you know, when Jay had the video, why not show up? So you blow up in 94, I'm trying to blow up in 96, and you still can't even come to my video, and we cool. You know what I'm saying? Like, so, you know, Jay showed him his first tech on his dresser and shit like that. But, nah, I mean, so that's the full story. That's the full story. And if, so when y'all niggas be reacting to shit, man, know what the fuck y'all talking about, man. You talking about shit that you had to be there for. You need context for this type of shit, man. I'm a fucking historian. I could break this shit. Even right now, I don't got, yo, if I really wanted to go in and fucking have my notes right here and be super duper just a nerd about the shit, this shit'd be I could make a fucking 5-hour video on Ether alone, like, cause I know all the fucking nuances and the particulars that you had to be there for. So you had to be there. Nas, Ether, you had to be there. Gather around, kids. It's story time.